All right, guys. Got the deck not completely done, but pretty close. Done enough that you can come out here and not worry about falling off the edge. But anyway, got the deck board screwed off. Like I say, I put 4 screws per board so we don't get no warpage or nothing like that. Actually, I didn't screw it off. Mommy did. She's done really good at it. But anyway, we use sheet panels for this right here, like the railing. I think there's like 33 bucks a piece or something like that, which, is not terrible at Rural King, at our local farm and feed, the steel dealer and all that. The old school like business, they was like 60 bucks. So anyway, TSC, they're like 60 bucks. But anyhow, figure it, these are 30 bucks a piece, or not, 30 bucks for a 4x16. So I got 2 pieces out of one. That'd be like 15 bucks, 16 bucks for each section here, or these 2 sections. That one took pretty much a full one. But anyway, it's what I'm getting at. It's cheaper than the little spindles. And I'm not crazy about the spindles because over time they warp, they twist, they crack, and then they pull loose and all that. They look good when they're first done. I've done many decks using those. But anyway, so here we decided to do that, just hopefully to reduce having to fix on it so much. And those deck boards are put down first. Those are the first ones I put down. And these, this 4th of July weekend, so had a long weekend. I've been putting quite a bit of work in on this thing this weekend while I've had the time, so I can get back to doing my saw work and tree work and everything. I got a few stumps to go look at, remove, and a couple trees maybe. But anyway, use 2x6 on the top. Sometimes I use a deck board up here for the hand railing, but they thin and cup. But all in all, this is what it is. I just these worked out pretty good. I had to go in the post with a saw and shave some of that, like make an inset for that panel to slide in and slide back on some of them. That way I could cut it. I made all my cuts right there at the end where I don't have none of these wires just loose or whatever flopping. So it's all boxed in. And then I just put 2x4s up, steepled it to the 2x4s, and then covered them with 2x4s. And then on the sides here, I just ripped a 2x4 in half, just for a little bit of, looks wise or whatever, aesthetics. But yeah, eventually we're gonna put steps, but I just wanted to get it here to this point where she could bring Leighton out here and he could play and run without having to worry about him falling off or whatever. But eventually we're gonna have steps. I've got it marked out. I'm gonna add the post right here and right here, and then I'm gonna go out with a little landing, probably have steps coming this way and steps coming this way. I don't have much lumber left. I still got to put the lettuce on the, this part over here. And Mommy's been picking up some of my mess over here, so that's helpful. I got some lumber to get rid of. And the bank here, I've been knocking that wall out. And somebody changed their oil and left the pan there. I don't know who that'd have been. But anyway, been trying to kind of get that to where you can put mulch or rock or something, or even if we do put grass, I can mow it up and down. Because before with that wall, it just was a steep drop off, and you couldn't do that much with it. You pretty much had to weed eat that whole thing. You couldn't get your mower there. If you get off over in there, get on that wall and get hung, it was a kind of pain in the butt. Which this part right here is not going to be any steeper than this part right here what we mow, so it ain't going to be bad. But I got some grade work to do still yet. I ain't completely done. Like I say, we're done enough to where we can sit here and enjoy it. And I got Mommy some outdoor furniture. She put that one together. She says it takes a long time to put them together. She says they're a pain in the butt. Anyway, it's kind of where we're at. Everything worked out pretty decent, you know. I don't have much bounce here. No jarring. I like that. That's why I put all them braces in. That's why I go 2 foot on centers. You wouldn't want to go much more than 2 foot if you're using a 5/4 board or what they call a deck board. I call them 5/4 boards. Just because it might get a little bouncy on you. I mean, you probably could go further, but I don't know anybody that goes any further than 2 foot on centers. Really, you know, I guess you could, you know, but I don't want to. I told her if it ever becomes a problem, you know, if these get to where they warp, twist, or bow real bad, and, you know, once they dry out, which I'll probably put, like Justin Weaver said, you know, he puts Thompson's water seal on treated stuff, and I do too, more times than not, just unless she may stain this, but I still would like to seal it, the water seal it. And I'll do that. I'll put the Thompson's water seal on, you know, with it being like this. I don't let it dry out none. I mean, as long as I'm using the clear, and now some of it, they've got like that honey looking color that'll kind of tint your deck or whatever. I try to let it dry out if I want to use any kind of coloring. But anyway, that's kind of what we got. Got the hydraulic line on the Coyote. Oh. And so I've been able to use it again. That was not really a chore, but it was kind of a hassle finding somebody. Nobody around town had the fitting like what it took. And then when they did make my hose, they put one of the fittings backwards, so I had to pigtail it, like curly cue it around to get it to work. But anyway, it is what it is. So anyhow, this is the deck. And for all in all, I think it turned out fairly decent. I would tell you, I ordered this lumber package from my guy that I've ordered lumber from for years, and you know, typically he has better wood than our other lumber store. You know, I've got packages from the other lumber place and had to send half of it back for it being you know, cooling boards out, being warped or barked out or whatever. And this stuff right here, some of it was pretty rough. Like this board right here is either way too narrow, or this one is way too thick. You know, you get some of that. And just today's lumber is getting worse and worse, you know what I'm saying? If anybody builds much, they kind of understand what I'm talking about. Used to, I think you get number 2 lumber for number 1 nowadays. Used to, number 1 was pretty good, and now number 1 is more like what number 2 used to be, like 15 or 20 years ago, you know. So anyhow, this is it. And the rip saws come in. All right, the supposed rip saw, I'm gonna unbox it and look and check it out. And got the 462 back today from Cajun. It's Monday the 3rd, right day before the 4th. So anyhow, we'll catch y'all later, and be looking tuned for the unboxing, and we may bar that dude up and go ahead and put her in some wood. So anyway, we'll catch y'all later. Have a good one.